Hello everybody, and welcome back to Open Source Tonight. Today what I wanted to talk to you all about is Hugo. Hugo is a static site generator, which means that it will build HTML5 documents for you using templates and data you provide in in different formats such as markdown files. So you can easily build a site that is easily deployable, repeatable, have proper theming on all the pages and everything linked together, and it all works really good. I use it for a lot of my websites, so let's go take a look. All right, so we are on the website here for Hugo, and you can see it is the world's supposedly fastest framework for building websites. All right, who doesn't like that, right? So we can go to the Click Start page and we can talk about how to create a site. So I already have it installed, the Hugo command. So if I go Hugo, you can see it is sitting there, but it doesn't have a site. So we need to make a site, but we'll show how to do that in just a second. So you can install it, and now we're going to come down here, and so we can do Hugo new site, and I'm just going to put a period, and congratulations, your Hugo site was created in /home/Vincent/document/HTML/Hugo_test. And so that is the directory that we're talking about. And so now we actually have our brand spanking new system. So if we actually look here, we have a site. So if I go Hugo server, it runs a server. And now if I actually open that in my web browser, you can see we have a blank website. Because right now we don't really have anything. So we can come in here and we'll do as they're suggesting, create a theme. All right, because we need a theme. So I'm going to go ahead and create this theme. Oh, interesting. I don't think that actually took. Maybe it did. I don't know. We may have to do a get init on this first, actually. I bet that's what it is because it's using get. Yeah, there we go. So now we have downloaded this person's theme. And now we can come in here to our, make this a little bigger here for you. We can come in here and we can edit our config.toml file. And we need to set a theme here. So I'm going to go theme and set it to this name. And now if I restart the server, we have a site that technically actually looks pretty. And so this is our default theme, and we could add a bunch of different stuff. So for example, right now we don't really have anything. So if we look at the content folder, that's where all our pages go. We have nothing. So why don't we actually go ahead and go Hugo new, and I believe we can do, I think I need to specify that it's in content, and we'll just call it test.md. And awesome, that worked. And so now I'm going to go into content and I'm going to edit test.md. I'm going to make this a little bigger for you. Oh, actually, maybe not that big. Hold on. Poop. Hold on. Goodness, that was, okay. Sorry about that. All right, anyway, so we have our information up here, the title of the page, the date it was created, which is automatically set, and a draft mode, which is defaulting to true. Now I'm going to change this to false, and we can edit this markdown document really easy. So I'm going to make a heading, with double pound sign. That's a H2 equivalent if you know HTML. So the biggest header is just one, and we're going to just call it test page. And then I'm going to make a paragraph by just going down here and going, hello, everyone, and welcome to the site. Right? And now I'll come back here. And we can leave the server running, by the way, while we're doing all this. So I really should just open it in a new tab. Oh, I got to go back out, sorry. Now we can run Hugo server, but I could leave this running at all times. And now I should be able to go, I believe it's just going to be /test. Yeah, here it is. Test page. And you can see the title of the page is in here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the site. And you can see it all works. If I click this, it takes me to the home page. And so it all works. If I actually show you source here of the page, you can see its generator is Hugo. I actually like to disable this, but you can leave it on. You can minify the HTML. There's a bunch of really cool things you can do. So we have a basic website now. And what's really cool is with a Git repo, we could have all these files in here just in a Git repo. So if I do git status, you can see all the changes. And so we could go in here and we could do a bunch of really cool stuff. Let's say we wanted to customize the system. So I'm going to come in here to our architects and see we have this default.md. I can change what is in here. So we can have different things. So I could have like a tags, for example. And there, now we have an empty tags. And maybe we'll add a sample tag here. Sample 1. Save it. And I can even default the draft status to false. Now, let's go back out of here. Let me give them just a second. I'm going to open another tab over here. And we're going to run the server constantly from now on in here. So like I said, we can do that. So I'm going to go Hugo, new, content, and then this time I'm going to call it test2.md, hit enter, and it creates it. But if we look at the content of test2.md, draft is set to false, and we now have tags. And we can use these in our theme later to customize things. So for example, there is a HTML tag that puts keywords in there that you can use. That things can look for those keywords. So if you wanted to do that, you can with this right here. If we didn't want the date, we could just simply remove it. So we can change this. Well, no, that should be able to be a string. I think it's because tags is something that I think is actually default in here. Let's try something else. We'll just call it test. Or no, we'll call it test, not text there. So I think that will work for us this time. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to come back out of here. I'm going to delete. This is how easy it is to delete a page. You just delete the file. And now if I run the server again, it's gone. So let me go back in here. We're going to recreate test2.md. And now you can see it is changed. I'm just going to call this test on the actual page by itself. And if we run over here, it does seem to be happy now. So I refresh. Awesome. We can go test2, and we have test2. And again, like I was showing you, if I wanted to delete something, I'll just show you that again. It's really cool. And the server updates in real time. So if I refresh, oh, actually, I guess it caches them. Hold on. Yeah, it did see the remove, but I think I have to, yeah, now it 404s. Anyway, long story short, we can quickly build a site together, and with this, and because it's on Git, it could be collaborative. So I'll show you a few of the themes and we'll kind of wrap it up because there's some really pretty themes on here. There's a bunch. I mean, this terminal one's pretty. I like it. We'll go take a look at it in a second. We can look at a couple of them. So this is a pretty one, right? This is a pretty theme, I have to say. It is a simple retro theme, as you can see. And I just think it looks good. I guess I can't, I was going to try and make it bigger. I guess I can just open the image for you all. But I think that that matte black background and stuff, just the way it's designed, it just looks cool. I mean, it's very simple looking, but I like it. Not going to use it on my website, but, you know, might somewhere else. Now, it's interesting. We can actually look at the website. Interesting. Like, this is very simple, but I like it. And so as you can see, we can come up here and go through the pages. It all works. So we can look at Stack. I don't know if they have a sample page for it. Looks like they do. So as you can see, I mean, this looks pretty cool. What if we click on a post? Yeah, I have to say this is pretty cool. And one thing that I think is really cool about this is we can disable dark mode. Look at that. So if you want a light theme or a dark theme for your viewing experience, you can have that. So yeah, pretty cool. And again, you know, there's some others down through here. Hello Friend is apparently one. There's just a big bunch. And honestly, I mean, these are really great. Look, I built my own custom one for my website, but they all look pretty cool. So, you know, we do have some options. This is interesting. Somebody has made a GitHub styled one. So if we went and looked at that, can we actually view it? Let's see. Yeah, this is just documentation on it, but that's still pretty cool. I mean, what can I say? It's pretty cool looking. Let's look at a few more here. Geek Doc looks pretty cool. We might look at that. I'm going to see if I can find... Here's a pretty different looking one from the others. So let's see here. I just want to see which one of these that have a page we can look at. It looks like most of these do not have a demo site, but we can always look at the images bigger. And I mean, I just think this looks pretty cool looking. So you might want to have your website look like that. Geek Doc, this looks like a read my docs kind of thing. I like it, looks pretty cool. And apparently we can find the demo over here of the site. Again, doesn't this just look nice? So long story short of the matter is, with Hugo, you can easily build yourself a static website, meaning it's all done in just static files, and that makes it really easy to serve. You could serve this off of Amazon S3, you could serve this off of DigitalOcean, you could serve this on like a VPS on DigitalOcean, or you could store it on DigitalOcean static, well, I forget what they call it. Like there's like a service they have that is similar to S3, but the advantage is it works with static sites specifically. And then they have like a service that's just like S3 but without that as well. But regardless, you can host this on shared hosting. You can host it on your own web server like Nginx on your own local network. You have options. So folks, I think it could be very interesting. I mean, you know, writing Markdown is a little complicated, but I like it. And I like the fact that because it's a static site, it loads very quickly because everything is done on my client side when I'm generating the page ahead of time. Then I upload that to the server, and then when you're viewing it, the site just instantly is going to be returned as quick as the server can get it into RAM and send it back over the network connection to you, and you know, all that has limitations, but it speeds things up. Because if you're using like a WordPress site, which I like WordPress, don't get me wrong, but something like WordPress or another content management system, they have to generate the pages on the fly. And that gives you some really powerful things that you can't do with a static site sometimes. But it also means that those pages are going to be slower because every time you do it, the server has to spend a little more effort building that page, if you will, on the fly. Well, anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts is on Hugo in the comments. I've been using it for a couple years now, and I got to say I really like it. So I'm curious to see what you all have to say. Anyway, everybody, thanks for watching Open Source Tonight, and I'll see y'all again very soon. Goodbye, everybody. And action.